my name is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about my July full face of first impressions, and I'm just going to be giving you my opinions on all of the products a month later. So this is something that I'm going to do with all of my first impressions from this point. Ideally I will be doing them sooner than I have done this one. It's currently the 21st of August. My aim is to kind of do them around the same time that I film the first impressions for the next month, if that makes sense. So ideally this video would have gone up either slightly before or slightly after my August first impressions went up, but that's already gone up now. So basically I will try and do these quicker in the future, but you know what, we're here now, so let's get on with it. So I've got the video up on my computer next to me just so I can remember exactly what products it was, but I will just go through everything again and give you any updated thoughts and opinions on the products. Obviously I have been using the majority of these products throughout the rest of July and obviously August as well, because it's coming towards the end of August now. I'm not going to go through the products in the order that they were in the video, but more so the order that you would apply them on your face, I guess. The way that the average person would apply them to the face, because I do my makeup in a bit of a weird order. So we'll start with the base products that I used. So I'll talk about the colour correctors first. If I'm honest, I haven't reached for these an awful lot since I first tried them out. The thing with colour correctors is I'll go through phases where I'm using them a lot, and then I'll go through phases where I don't use them very often. It really just depends on what the state of my skin is. If I'm having a lot of breakouts, if I haven't had a lot of sleep and I've got really like dark under eyes. But I don't really feel like I've been in that kind of situation the last month and a half, so I haven't really been reaching for colour correctors too often. The ones that I tried out on my first impressions were two of the Nip and Fab colour correctors, the green one and the yellow one, these ones here. And then I also used the Barry M colour correctors. They're called the Flawless colour correcting ones, and one is for neutralising redness and one's for eradicating dark circles. Again, a green and a yellow one. If I am going to go for colour correctors, I always go for green and yellow, because if I ever need to correct anything, it's always dark under eyes and blotchiness on my face. To be honest, I don't even think I've used the Nip and Fab ones like at all really since the video, which isn't particularly helpful. I have used the Barry M ones though. I do like these Barry M ones, and also because I've been practicing, because I'm going to be doing two full face of Barry M makeup looks. I've already filmed one of them and the other one still in the works, but I like these because they're not too richly pigmented. They kind of adapt to your skin a bit more. Whereas I found that with the Nip and Fab ones, the pigment is quite strong. It's not very like kind of natural colouring to it. So I feel like you can often still see these through the foundation that you then put on the top. Whereas with these, you don't really have that issue. There's not really too much I can say about these. I would say I prefer the Barry M ones, but the Nip and Fab ones aren't bad by any means. I don't feel like I've used them enough for me to like be able to say that they're really good or really bad or anything like that. I just think they're pretty standard colour correctors. So I'll move on to the foundation and the concealer that I tried. So these are both from H&M. I got the All Day Liquid Foundation, Flawless Finish, in the shade Alabaster, which is this one here. And then to go with it, I got one of the concealers. So this is just called the Cover Up Concealer, and it's also in the shade Alabaster. That is it here. I think that these work together very well. I have used these kind of both separately and together quite a few times. I have actually been reaching for these quite a bit. I really do like this foundation and concealer because it is quite natural on your skin. It's quite lightweight, but at the same time it does still cover, like it definitely gives you some coverage. You don't look like a blotchy mess or anything like that. I actually really like these. They're not my favourite foundation and concealers like in the world, and if I'm wanting like a quite covered look, it's not the kind of thing I'd reach for, but it does look really nice and natural on the skin. The only bad thing I can really say is that like the coverage isn't amazing, but sometimes that's not really the look I want to go for, to be honest. In terms of wearability, I would say it's pretty average. Definitely not bad wearing, definitely not amazing wearing. I've tried better wearing foundations and concealers than these, but I've also tried worse ones. There's just nothing really special about the wear. It's just pretty average. The wear isn't bad to the point where I wouldn't want to wear it again, if you know what I mean. It's, as I said, it's just pretty average. So I would recommend these. I think it really just depends on what your preferences are. In terms of coverage, I personally quite like to have a more kind of, you can definitely build up to a medium, I would say, with these. I personally quite like that look. It's especially on a more regular basis at work and stuff. Definitely, if you're gonna get a H&M foundation, definitely go for this one over the other one, which I think is called Natural Satin. Tried that like a year ago and I hated it, but this one is nice. I would recommend this one. The powder that I got in my last first impressions was the e.l.f. Tone Correcting Powder Cool, which is this one here. And as you can see, I have hit pan on it, so I have used it quite a bit, and I got mine off of Amazon because they stopped selling it on Superdrug. And I do like this powder. It's pretty standard, pretty basic. It sets your face down. I do find that this one you have to build it up quite a bit. It's not the most like instant kind of, you know, pigmentation to it. You definitely do have to kind of build it, but it definitely does the job. It mattifies you. It's got a fairly natural finish, doesn't look too cakey or anything. There's not really anything too special about it. It's just kind of your average basic powder. That's all I can really say about that one. It's got all these kind of weird colours in it, but it does go on translucent. So moving on to cheap products, there was only two that we tried in July's first impressions, and the first one was the Barry Afterglow Light Bronzer. This one here is what the colour looks like. And I did just use this in my Full Face of Barry that I filmed yesterday. I think this is an okay bronzer. As you can see, it has got quite a reddish tone. It is, I would say, maybe not the most ideal for my skin tone because I'm very fair. But I do find that with a bit of blending, it works absolutely fine. This isn't my favourite bronzer. It's not the one that I'd reach for the most out of my collection, but it's definitely not a bad bronzer at all. It does what you want a bronzer to do. It warms up your face. Just maybe not the most suited for my skin tone, but if you kind of prefer a more reddish toned bronzer, then I would recommend. Obviously depending on what your skin tone is. I feel like probably more light to medium this would work for, as opposed to like very fair, but obviously it's not going to work on dark skin either because it'd be too light for that. It's not a bad product at all. It goes on pretty nicely and it blends out very well, so it's worth it, just maybe not the best fit for my skin tone. Got a highlighter from H&M. This is the Moonlit Halo Illumination Lustre Powder. Again, I have used this quite a bit throughout the month. I like this highlighter. It is very nice. It's definitely got pigment, and I think the colour's absolutely stunning. It's like a really great colour for my skin tone because it's very like icy, but it's kind of got a lot of hues to it as well. It's definitely pigmented. It's not like the most super wow blinding highlighter in the world, but I personally quite like that look on some days. I like this highlighter, I really do. Again, it's not my favourite highlighter ever. It's not like the one that I reach for the most in my collection, but it's definitely a nice highlighter and something I do like on occasion. Can't decide whether I like it more than the other H&M one I got though, called Delicate Pearl, which is a slightly more pinky toned colour than this. I feel like they're quite similar, but I think that the Delicate Pearl one might be a tiny bit more pigmented, which is weird because you would have thought they're the same formula. So I like this highlighter. It is really nice. It's just not the most blinding in the world. But if you want a more kind of subdued look, then I would recommend. Okay, so moving on to the eyebrow products that I tried. So we tried two from Isla, the Isla Precision Brow Crown in dark brown, this one here, which has a micro brow pencil on one side and then a spoolie. And then I also got from Isla the Brow Amplifier in dark brown, which is a gel, what that one looks like there. And I like both of these products. I've used the pencil today and I have to say that it is a really good pencil. I like this one a lot. It definitely doesn't come out too harsh. It's workable, blends with the spoolie really well. It's quite a good colour. I mean, my hair is quite dark at the moment, but to be honest, I'm not too bothered about my eyebrows being like black like my hair is. I kind of don't mind them being a more kind of dark neutral brown colour. So definitely would recommend this pencil. This is a really good pencil. The brow gel I definitely do like, however I would recommend wiping off the excess with this. I do recommend this for pretty much most eyebrow gels. It is one of those things where it could be quite splodgy. There have been occasions where I've used it and it's gone a bit wrong and it's just gone all splodgy and it just doesn't look particularly good, but I feel like most of the time it does work pretty well. I use it on its own as well as with brow pencils or whatever other brow product. I like this, but again, you just got to be careful with it. But in terms of like definition, it works really well, and again, colour's pretty good. Okay, so next thing, the Makeup Revolution Glitter Bombs. I used the gold one in the look, and I did recently do a week where I used all Revolution products. I did 5 full faces of just Revolution Beauty, And I used both of these two glitter bombs, Glitterazzi and Orion's Belt. So I like these products. I think they're good. They definitely have that very glittery effect. It's a very like kind of out there look. It's quite different to something like, say, the NYX Pigments and the Barium Dazzle Dust. These are more, I find these are easier to work with and less messy, but they don't have that same kind of wow effect as a glitter would do, because they're obviously completely different textures. The thing with the glitters is they are just very messy, and like they kind of do get all over your face. But to be honest, like, I feel like with any glitter that's probably going to happen, surely. I like these, they're cute, you can definitely make a really nice creative look out of them. It's just a bit of a mess to use, to be honest. I feel like these kind of things I'd reach for more in the regular, just because you can get a really like intense eye effect that has a slight glittery feel to it, but it's not the same as obviously these glitters, but with less mess. But these are nice, it's just I wouldn't reach for them on a regular basis. Obviously, I mean, I don't use glitters too often. Okay, so the eyeliner that I got was the Nip and Fab eye pencil in 01 Black, and I used this so much after that video. I was using this pretty much every day, and there's basically nothing left. It's all gone. I used this a lot, and it's definitely a very good pencil. Does exactly what you want a pencil to do. I like the convenience of not having to sharpen it. It was really good, it just obviously hasn't lasted that long. I don't know, I can't really blame the pencil too much because I was using it like pretty much every day. So I probably got like 3 weeks use out of it, but I was using it almost every day. Maybe there was like a couple times a week where I used something else. Definitely a really good pencil, I would recommend it. But if you're like me and you're gonna use it every day, it's gonna go down pretty fast. I don't think it was too expensive though. I feel like it was in like the £8 region. I'll have to double check that, but I probably would buy this again, to be honest. And I also got a mascara from Nip and Fab too. This is just called the Nip and Fab mascara, and I feel like I have mixed opinions on this. Like, I don't really like this too much when I'm just wearing it by itself. I feel like this is the kind of mascara where I feel like I have to go on with something else just to give it a bit of extra oomph. When I do that, I like it. It's definitely just more of a mascara that I'd want to use in combination with something, which is fine because I kind of do that with most of my mascaras anyway. It's a decent mascara. It does give you some volume and thickness. I just personally feel like I want a little bit more from a mascara, really. That's all, but it's definitely not too bad. If you want something that's just going to give you a little bit of volume, a little bit of thickness, but it's not gonna, you know, give you a total like wow lash, then you probably would like this. But I just like really extra eyelashes. But I have used this a lot to like layer with other mascaras. I don't believe I tried a lip product in that video, so I think that's pretty much everything. I don't know if this was like the most helpful video. I don't have like a lot of like interesting insight into these products. I think next month's one might be a bit more interesting. Definitely do feel like I did find a lot of good products from that video. So I would say that my favourite products from July's first impressions were, first of all, the eyeliner that I used all of, because obviously I used it all. I would actually say the foundation and the concealer. I like how they look. I feel like this is just the kind of light to medium coverage is more what I'm going for now. Whenever I've used them and then like gone downstairs and looked at other lighting, it's just looked really nice on my skin. Brow products I definitely think were standouts, more so the pencil than the gel, but I did like the gel as well. The powder also pretty good. Those I guess I'd highlight as standouts. So I do think I did find some good makeup last month. I really got to say on the matter. I don't know if this video is any good at all. I'm hoping that next month's one will be a bit more informative and I'll have more to say about the products. Like, I don't want to force myself to use makeup just because it was in my first impressions. Like, obviously I have loads of makeup in my collection. Like, I'm the kind of person where I don't like to stick to the same products. I like to kind of rotate through all of my makeup. I don't really like to just wear the same thing because I just feel like I've got all this makeup, like I want to wear as much of it as I possibly can. I don't understand when people have huge collections but then they only use like the same foundation every time and the same bronzers every time. I just find that weird. Like, why do you have such a huge collection then? Like, don't get me wrong, there's definitely makeup in my collection that I don't reach for very often, but I do try my best to rotate through it as much as I can. So that's the thing, like, if I just don't fancy, like if I try a, like, I don't know, a mascara on my first impressions and I just don't really feel like using it throughout the month, then I'm not really going to be able to give you an in-depth review of it, but like I don't want to have to force myself to use makeup if I'm just not feeling it for the sake of this video. But I do feel like on the most part I use the makeup in my first impressions throughout the month. It's not that much of a big deal. Like I generally do use it, so that's all I got to say, and I'm gonna stop now and chill out and enjoy the rest of my day off, even though it's 8:30 in the evening. Thank you for watching this video. First impressions a month later. Hopefully we'll be at the beginning of September and not towards the end of September like this one has been. Let's hope. But I will see you very soon. Goodbye.